The opinions, viewpoints, and promises made during the following program are not those of WFLA AM, its staff, management, or parent company, iHeartMedia Incorporated.
Welcome to the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, your weekly voyage into Florida fishing. Presented by Hubbard's Marina, hosted by Captain Mike Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
Good morning, Tampa Bay. Captain Dylan Hubbard here for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show. Looking forward to a great morning this morning, talking some fishing and enjoying being inside where it's not so breezy this morning. But looking forward to talking all things inshore, nearshore, and offshore fishing, answering questions, and hopefully hearing from you as well. Don't forget, you can give us a shout at 1-800-969-9352. If you have a fishing report, fishing question, or you just want to say hello. Myself, Captain Dylan Hubbard, and in studio this morning we have Captain Steve Papen from Fintastic Fishing Charters, talking fishing this morning. How you doing this morning, Steve?
Doing great, man. I'd rather be fishing today, but it's not happening. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow. It is calming down a little bit tomorrow, and slowly getting a little bit nicer, and Monday is looking pretty darn good. So is Tuesday. Wednesday, it's picking up a little bit. A little frustrating. Just populated the weather over here on the laptop, and yesterday afternoon, we were all celebrating at the Marina because it looked like we had almost 9 days coming up of dark blues on Windfinder and 10, 15 knots or less, and it has changed significantly this morning, unfortunately. Yet again.
I didn't look at it this morning.
Well, don't.
You're scaring me a little bit.
Yeah, don't look at it. It's not worth it.
Monday still all right?
Sunday is calming down. Monday and Tuesday look good, but then Wednesday we got that prefrontal activity, that strong south wind, and the pattern continues. A strong south wind for 2 days, and then boom, big old cold front followed by a really, really strong high pressure. So right now, advanced forecast not looking great for, again, another weekend in a row coming up next weekend. But hopefully it'll keep fluctuating because, like I said, last night, yesterday, pretty much all day, it was looking pretty good for this upcoming weekend all the way through. So that tells me we're getting to that time of year where these cold fronts might not make it all the way down, and that's always a welcomed change when those cold fronts, they kind of stall above Florida, and they don't get into the Gulf, they don't start messing us up, and hopefully that starts soon, because I'm a little worn out on this cold front pattern. How about you?
Yeah, pretty bad. But you know what? March is coming up, and the old saying is March always comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb, so I'm hoping that's the case again this year.
Yeah, it comes in like a lion, goes out like a lamb. I like that. That's a good saying. Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, we start to get into that pattern where these cold fronts get a little further apart, and that's what we talked about yesterday on our weekend fishing report. Is we've got a nice long weather window. It looked like, at least yesterday, it looked like that, and that's kind of the sign of that spring change, right? As these cold fronts get further apart, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4 days between fronts, we get to that 4, 5, 6 days between fronts, and then all of a sudden the fronts get weaker and weaker, and then all together stop showing up. And then we get that spring wind sometimes, but hopefully this year that won't happen because we've had a long winter.
Yeah.
It's been a little treacherous.
Brutal working a day or two a week if you're lucky.
Yeah, it's been a very long winter. But like I said, weather's looking really good Monday, Tuesday. It looks pretty good Sunday. Just Sunday is going to be right behind that weather. So unless you're running out pretty deep, that near shore area might be a little stirred up. So Sunday might be a little soft unless you're able to get past that dirty water. Monday, Tuesday look really good ahead of that weather coming Wednesday. We're going to be on the backside of the weather this weekend and the backside of the moon. So fishing should be pretty darn hot, especially I would say Monday to me looks like your best bet weather and fishing-wise coming up, and Tuesday being second best, and maybe even Sunday too, especially if you're running deep. I assume you're going to get out Sunday and try to get past all that dirty water, huh, Steve?
Yeah. Sunday we've got a full day scheduled, and then Monday we actually have a couple trips going on. I'm doing a little research trip, probably.
Nice. Get out there and go real deep on the research trips.
Yeah. We've got that one, and then we've got another trip on the CV. Mike's going to be running, so.
We're a part of a research project right now with APHIS extension, and they're doing research on red grouper spawning. And so we have an EFP, and for listeners, that's an exempted fishing permit issued as part of that research project. So while the researchers are on our vessel, we're able to go out past the 20-fathom closure, and they want specifically 35-inch red grouper or more for this research project. And they're collecting eyeballs, otoliths, fin rays, DNA sampling, and trying to study fecundity, which is how many eggs these large groupers can produce. So it's pretty interesting. It's a cool research project. And the research project that you're a part of is still that FWC tagging study where you go out into those closed areas?
Well, we've been doing that study for about 6 years now, and there's a lot of different aspects of it. We did deep water. We did, stuff up north. We did things in the grounds, a lot of acoustic tagging.
Yeah.
To be able to follow the fish around. They do water sampling. There's a lot of different stuff in it, but the gags are the primary focus of that one. Spawning, aging and finding out, where they go, spawning aggregates, things like that. There was a lot of different aspects of it.
That's cool. And it's really interesting to me, the CRP in general. This CRP is the Cooperative Research Projects, and that's what Steve is a part of and what he's talking about and what I'm talking about with our current research projects that we're doing. And these cooperative research projects are where scientists work with fishermen and use our knowledge to help collect scientific information that's considered fisheries independent science, but it's depending on fishermen and our knowledge to help them collect their sampling. So it's pretty cool, the big step that FWRI, the Florida Wildlife Research Institute, which is the science arm of FWC, pours so much time, energy, and money into collecting these samples and really utilizing the knowledge that's out there in the industry. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, the biologists that they have over there working, they're great. I mean,
yeah.
The girls that we work with, Hayden and Kara, they live and breathe gags. They know everything about them.
Yeah.
It does from the tiniest little nothing that you could think of to, the most important aspects of them. They live and breathe them. It's crazy.
Yeah, they really are knowledgeable, good people, and they put a lot of time, energy, and effort into learning more about the fishery. So hopefully the weather will hold up and allow us to get out there and do our research projects. We got that Monday as well, so we'll both be on the water doing research. This weather update was brought to you by our friends over there at Reese Windows and Doors. It's Florida's leading window and door Florida company with over 50 years in business. Reese Windows offers free installation on most windows and doors, and they install in just 6 weeks. They only use in-house installers, no freelance contractors, and their work comes with a double lifetime warranty, which means you never pay for a warranty when you sell your house, and the warranty transfers to the new owner, which adds value to your home. Visit reesewindows.com for more information today. Good people over there for sure, and some great products. So hopefully we'll be able to take advantage of this little weather window, and praying that this weather calms down for this upcoming weekend, because we need a good weekend. It's been a rough run for weekend fishermen. I mean, what's this? If this upcoming weekend's rough again, that's like almost 4 in a row that I think are pretty much unfishable.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Well, I mean, some people are taking advantage of it, though, because, I mean, the nice days that you're getting out there, I mean, I am seeing boats out there.
Yeah.
There's people fishing, and there's traffic. They're out there.
They're getting out there. Speaking of getting out there, we've got Captain Gene from Reelin' Freedom on the line. Good morning, Captain Gene. I assume you're here to talk to us about the Warrior Shootout coming up, right?
I am. Next Saturday, Warrior Shootout, our 6th annual inshore tournament. We're ready. We need anglers to sign up. We got a kayak division, boat division, and plenty of stuff to give away and raise as much money as possible to get these veterans out on the water this year. It's a passion and a lot of work. We'd love to see you. Come on out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you guys have that over the Bay Pines Marina, right? Where's the captain's meeting?
Yeah, captain's meeting's this Thursday, March 7th at next Thursday, March 7th at Bay Pines Marina.
Nice.
We're going to have a few giveaways there, talk about the rules, and then get a day in between to prep, and then go fishing on at midnight on Saturday. Got to be in the weigh-in line by 4 p.m. It is just a catch and release tournament with snook, redfish, and trout, and it's always a good time. We always have a blast over there. We have the Marine Corps Veterans Motorcycle Association, all the Jeepers in the area. We have an awesome national anthem grill that was in Nashville for a little while, and we also have the Marine Corps Detachment Color Guard out there. And if you haven't been out there to see this, it's just amazing. It's all America and a great time. Great time.
That's awesome. And that Harbor Master Tiki Hut place is pretty awesome. That grill they have over there. Isn't that cool? Yeah, it's a really cool location.
Really cool. Yeah, Bart and those guys, they're special forces retired guys that kind of own that place, and we just over the years doing our tournament there, we have figured out that we have been in some of the same places throughout the years. It's pretty cool. I love those guys.
That's awesome, man. Small
Good
world,
people.
right?
Good people. It is, yeah. I wasn't one of those guys. I just made sure that those guys could talk on the radio. That's all I did. I wasn't. I didn't do what those guys did, but it doesn't matter. I say it all the time. It doesn't matter if you were a cook or a supply guy or whatever, first responder. You raise your right hand to support and defend. You deserve the credit. It doesn't matter what you do. Everybody, it's a team effort,
Amen to that. Thank you for your service, and thanks for your service to our veterans.
Yeah, no worries. I need to maybe I need to come down there and see you this week. I got some fishing trips that you had given me that probably need to be renewed. We need to do a better job of giving those out. And but the more exposure we have, we really appreciate your support, Real Animal support, and Hubbard's Marina support for everything you give us. It's amazing over the years. You guys helping us out. We couldn't do it without folks like you, Dylan.
We appreciate it. And how would someone join the tournament if they wanted to get some more information? How would they find it?
Yeah, go to reelingfreedom.org. There is a link at the top of the page there for the Warrior Shootout. You can sponsor a team as well, or just donate to sponsor a team. And all the rules and regulations are there, and,
nice.
and everybody knows how to get a hold of me. My information's out there if you have any questions.
So reelingfreedom.org to join the Warrior Shootout. We appreciate it, Captain Gene, for giving us a shout and relaying all the great information about that upcoming tournament.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
See you, my friend. Thanks for calling. Always a pleasure to hear from you guys. Give us a shout, 1-800-969-9352. If you have a fishing report, fishing question, or just want to say hello, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio. We'll be right back.
Wild ride in the automotive industry the last couple of years. But guess what? Inventory numbers are back, and so are the gimmicks and games.
Hardly see you, Steve. See Captain Steve.
I doubt it. I doubt anybody wants to see that.
When we started, I was like, uh-oh, Steve's cut off. Yeah, man, that Bay Pines Marina grill, that Harbor Master, that's pretty cool over there.
Yeah. That place would be more popular. I mean, the whole dredging thing for our area is just such a problem, dude.
The worst.
And what's going on with the pass?
Dude, it's
What are they just collecting interest or what? I mean, the money's already there, right?
Yeah, it was 30 plus years to finally get where we are today and get money from the state. So we have the money from the state sitting there.
But where'd it come from the last bunch of times that they dredged?
The last time was a private project, so it was a smaller thing, and it was over one jurisdiction. This has been such a problem.
Was it the Deer Beach?
No, the landlord funded the last one.
Really?
Yeah, and we paid for a portion of it, and it was only over the private property. This dredge project in Johns Pass is over DOT property. It's over Army Corps area, county area, city area, private property. So because of that, it took so much longer to get permission and communication for everybody. Everybody agreed. Project moved forward. It got funded. Now for the last almost 16 months, it's literally sitting. The project is sitting on a desk at somewhere in Army Corps, and it just needs a signature. As soon as it gets a signature, we can move forward and
start. It would
have
been fantastic if they would have done that and did it during they got to do it during the winter.
Yeah,
right?
they literally if it doesn't get a signature in the next week or two, we're done until November of 2024. Yeah. Because they can't do the project between April and October because of sea turtles and all the other stuff that's going on.
I mean, we're all going to be busy. There's less boat traffic during those winter.
Well, most of this project is right up against the seawall, so the boat what's crazy is
still got to do the whole channel going out, right?
No,
that money's not going for
this dredge project is literally from the jetty, right up against the jetty, to the private property, and that's it. They're not touching the channel.
And that was $2 million.
$1.55 million, and it's supposed to last 10 years.
What are you gonna do with the rest of it?
What do you mean? The rest of the channel and all
both of those bars are just coming across like this, and pretty soon we're going to have to take a left turn to get out of the pass.
The Army Corps said in our meetings that Johns Pass Channel is not important enough to qualify for dredging, and even if it was, it's functioning well and doesn't need any maintenance. Because the Army Corps
I don't know about you, but I've seen your boat kicking up mud going across that second bar.
Oh, yeah.
More than one time.
The Army Corps looks at their channel as from those first set of markers to inland of the bridge by 50 to 75 yards. So the Army Corps doesn't maintain the channel all the way out.
Well, who maintains that?
No one.
Well, I mean, they dredged it before.
Yeah, they've dredged the. They've actually never dredged the channel seaward of the Army Corps federal channel. That has always, what happens is if that main channel is deep enough, the ebb jet, which is the outgoing tide water flow, it's like a barrel of a gun. If the barrel of a gun is long, that bullet has more spinning, more rifling because of the inside of the barrel, and it goes straighter for longer. The trajectory is greater, right? If you have a short barrel, it comes out of that barrel and it drops a lot faster. So it's the same thing with the channel. If you get nice long jetties and a nice deep throat to the channel, the ebb jet will go straighter longer and keep a deeper channel seaward of the bridge. And unfortunately, we just don't have that. So that's why it shallows up and gets all crazy.
It's a problem.
We're back. Captain Dylan Hubbard here for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show. Captain Steve Papen from Fintastic Fishing Charters joining me this morning. We've got some callers on the line that we're going to get to as well, but we hope to hear from you. Give us a shout, 1-800-969-9352 if you want to join the conversation. We'd love to hear from you. And with that, we've got Captain Mike from Big Pine Key on the line. How you doing, Captain Mike?
Hey, Dylan. Hey, Steve. How you guys doing this morning?
Just another day in paradise, my friend. Enjoying a little bit of a breezy Saturday. Looking forward to this weather calming down on the backside of the weekend. How about you?
Yeah, same thing here in the Keys. It's been a breezy last week, and thank God for people from the north wanting to go on sunset cruises or out to a sandbar or something. It's still a little chilly for me to get in the water, but for people from up north, I guess not so bad. But it's been real breezy. We did get out a couple days. I heard you talking about doing a scientific assistant type trip. We did one a few weeks ago out to Western Dry Rocks, myself and some other captains, and that's a big spawning area for several different types, species of fish. But the biggest species that actually spawning aggregate out there is permit. And we went out and we helped tag in 2 days. I think we tagged about 56 permit.
Whoa.
Over 2 full days of fishing. Yeah, my arms were killing me from reeling them in. You're reeling in a big trash can lid, basically, and it's a closed area pretty much this time of year because there's a big spawning aggregate of permit in there. But we had a good time, and I took some local friends of mine, and I said, look, we aren't going to be able to keep fish, but you sure can help out and everything. But the permit, very healthy. They averaged about 15 to 20 pounds, but we had several fish that were over 35 to 40 pounds in that whole little study that they're doing, and there were multiple other boats out there, too, helping out.
That's awesome, man. That sounds like a lot of fun. That's the greatest part about those cooperative research projects is not only do you get to see the inside of how the science works and meet the people behind the science, but sometimes they let you do cool things like fish in closed areas. Right?
Exactly.
Right. Steve's laughing because I know you fish a lot of closed areas over there in these projects, right, Steve?
Yeah, I mean we've been fortunate. I mean we've seen it, a couple of them. It's pretty amazing to see what an area is like when nobody's touching it. You know what I mean? Like the fishery itself. Mm-hmm. It's remarkable. I mean, bottom fishing, permits and stuff like that, I feel like they move a lot more. The grouper's just going to go sit somewhere and it's not going anywhere for a while. But, to see, like, we caught the 2 biggest red grouper that I've ever seen, like back to back on one spot up there. I mean, they were like 25 and 27 pounds. I mean, they were giants.
Wow.
And I haven't seen a 25-pound red grouper for, I don't know, say a long time.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I know we have a group down here who does down around Fort Jefferson. There's closed areas, obviously, north and south of Fort Jefferson. Mm-hmm. And I've applied, actually, just to give it a whirl and see what is in those areas that nobody gets the fish. And I have never gotten drawn, with the tag, whatever they're working on, because you're going to get bycatch anyway. But I wish I could get onto that and do the grouper research or something like that, because they're supposed, especially the big blacks, the big black grouper, But the fishing's been great in the Keys, and the weather, we're battling it just like you guys are, Atlantic side, Gulf side. It is what it is. It's that time of year. But, boy, when we get out, the fishing's been fantastic. And, if you have never been to the Keys, you got to get in the car and treat yourself at least one time and come down. It's amazing how many people I hear say, this is my first time to the Keys, and I'm a Floridian. How long you been in Florida? 40 years, 50 years, whatever. I'm like, you're kidding me. I mean, everybody owes it to themselves to just make one long weekend trip down.
That's right.
And exactly.
Go
over to Hubbard's Marina.
How would someone reach you? We're up against the clock here. How would someone reach you?
It's 813-434-8086, CaptainMichael47gmail.com, or simply call 1-866-GAMEFISH, and big old Captain Mike will shoot you our way.
Awesome, man. Well, we appreciate you, Captain Mike. Thanks for giving us a shout this morning. Always good to hear from you. We got the legendary Captain Jeff Page on the line as well. We're going to get to him next, and hopefully we'll hear from you. 1-800-969-9352. Bartow Ford, Real Animals. We'll be right back.
From the local Lexus dealers, WFLA News Desk.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see how they are down there.
Yeah, we ran out of time, unfortunately. Short one.
Getting an accurate like right now report.
Yeah.
I've been real curious about it. You know, Eddie's got his whole red tide theory and everything like that. I don't know if I buy into that. I mean, they got to be cyclical. This happened in the past, you know, and we've had slow years, we've had banner years, and I got to think. I mean, dude, they can go anywhere they want to. Who says, you know, they say that those two groups, like the Atlantic and the Gulf group, they both go like this, and they go down to the Keys. And then what? They don't mix up, and they just each go back their same way? It's like, come on, I don't know if I buy all that.
Yeah.
Because they've been having some killer years out on the East Coast the last few years.
Like, they all get together, and it's like, yo, we got so much bait over here. Come check this out. You know? Right.
They've been having some really good years the last couple of years over there on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, lots of fish. I got a couple of commercial guys that I talk to once in a while over there, and, you know, they've been doing pretty darn well at it. And then we're falling on our face over here.
I would imagine everything is cyclical.
I agree.
We see it with the red grouper, with the with everything.
Did you see that guy's? He was a commercial guy that was on Facebook the other day and made a video, and he was like commercial fishing, and he had a nice gag, and they were gutting it, and it was just completely just choked full of eggs.
Oh, really?
I mean, just choked full. I will get a spawn enclosure before I die.
When will they learn to stop?
I will get that to happen. I've been yelling and screaming to anybody that'll listen since 2010. Yeah. And I ain't going to stop. They're like, oh, well, it doesn't matter if you kill that fish, you know, before it spawns or during its spawn or after it spawns, it's not going to spawn the next year. I'm like, yeah, but when you kill a fish during the spawn, you know, you prevent all those eggs from getting in the water. If you kill it after the spawn, yes, that one fish will not spawn next year, but it just did. I mean, we saw it. We saw it during COVID. Yeah. All the restaurants and all the fish houses were closed. 2 to 3 years later is what that fish needs to be 23 to 25 inches long. 2 to 3 years. And 2 to 3 years later, we had it in banner gag year.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we were out front catching them like we did back in the day. Stopping in 50 foot and having a 12 head stop 15 pounders.
Yeah. It'll be interesting.
I am a little scared of the red snapper, though.
Yeah.
They are coming out of the water in epic numbers.
Mm-hmm.
All the commercial guys are catching them, and they're just, you know, they're making $250 a pound, $220 a pound.
Well, also
they got to catch thousands.
The recreational fishermen just had the longest recreational season yet, and I mean, federal for hire had a long season.
I feel like there needs to be a separation between where we commercial fish and where we recreational fish, right? There needs to be a separation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that commercial fishing inside of 150 foot is a good idea. Because you think about it right now, like you and I are sitting there going, man, red snapper season's coming up. We can't wait, this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, those guys are murdering all that bottom right now. I mean, decimating it. I ran by the fishbowl the other day.
Mm-hmm.
There was 5 longliners in sight of the fishbowl. Like, I'm running by, looking at it, and I'm driving by the fishbowl, and there is 5 longliners. Just all stringing gear and running all over the place. 5 of them. 140, 150 foot.
That's crazy.
Beating it to death. When we go out this snapper season, we're all going to be unpleasantly surprised with what we find, I think.
Tough. A lot of those longliners don't have the red snapper quota, though.
They don't. They don't have quota. They just go catch it. I don't have any quota. What do I got? I got about 800 pounds of fish.
But even the fish houses, they're not like the commercial boats that are offloading at Dom's dock. They're not bringing in thousands of pounds of red snapper. They might have 1,000 or 2,000 pounds, but they're not bringing in 7,000 pounds of red snapper.
No, they're not catching like that. But if you got every single boat out there going to catch, and they catch 2 or 3, 2,000 pounds, 2,500 pounds a trip, and it's every boat. I mean, Anthony just unloaded the other day. He had 1,000 for a couple days. 1,000 pounds. My last trip, I had 500, and we were running away from them.
We're running away from them.
Well, I don't want to catch them for $2. I feel like I'm cotton picking, back in the 1800s,
Burning ice.
I make $2 and somebody else makes $5 that doesn't even fish. Like, come on, dude. I just can't stomach it. It makes me sick. I'd love to throw them all back. It's worth a whole heck of a lot more, to charter and recreational than they are for commercial. I mean, commercial fishes, $50, $60. Charter wise, I mean, you can charge, a couple $1,000 for those fish. I'll get it. I'll get it sooner or later. I'll get that spawn enclosure, and I'll get those long legs going. And then I'll retire.
I would assume we're after this. Yeah.
Presented by Hubbard's Marina. Now your captains, Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
Sorry to disappoint. No Captain Mike Anderson this morning. But you've got Captain Dylan Hubbard, Captain Steve Papen in studio this morning for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, chatting, fishing. Want to make sure we give a shout out to our friends over there at Affordable Roofing Systems. Whether you need a shingle, metal tile, or flat roof, our friends at Affordable Roofing Systems are your safest choice for repairs or replacements. With over 3 decades of roofing experience, let Affordable Roofing Systems guide you through this important process. They're defined by integrity, respect, and honesty, and they have a personalized and professional approach to doing business. Call 888-397-ROOF today for your free estimate or visit them online at affordableroofingflorida.com. We've got our friend Captain Jeff Page on the line from Sarasota. How you doing, Captain Jeff?
Good morning, Captain Dylan.
Good morning, my friend. How are you doing down there?
I'm doing pretty good, and I heard that man from the Keys saying it was a breezy week. This past week was pretty nice down here. A lot of good days of low tide fishing, and then yesterday that south wind kicked up, pushed all the water in the bay, and we had some really good high tide fishing up along the mangroves and oyster bars. And those Braden boys, they always say, if the wind's out of the south, the fish open their mouth.
That's awesome. And I assume you guys are destroying the trout, huh?
Trout fishing's been good. Sheephead fishing's been good. Pompano, when you can find them, has been good because, everybody wants that pompano, from the commercial man to the rod and reel man to even the dolphins.
Yeah.
So that pompano, he's on the move, and he's fast.
Yeah.
But when you can find them, I do real good using that U-Pro flats jig, and it's very similar to the Doc Scoopy jig, but it has a split ring attached to it with a little tiny trailer fly. And sometimes that little fly gets the bite better than the big long lead jig itself.
Yeah, that was my next question for pompano. Are you putting the fly behind the jig, in front of the jig, on the jig? Everybody likes to do it different. What's your preference?
Well, it comes already built in the U-Pro flats jig, and it's attached to a split ring that comes off the eye of the top of the big jig itself.
Okay.
So it's all ready to go. One thing I like to do, Dylan, though, is I take my scissors, because the nylar hairs that come off that thing are a little long, and I like to trim about 1/8 of an inch off of the fly just to get it to where there's more hook ready for him instead of a lot of hair in his mouth. And that seems to get better hookup ratio. And the way that pompano comes at those jigs, sometimes it'll just snag them in the nose or in the cheek. But it's a good battle. They fight just like a permit. They're just smaller.
And once you find one, you'll get a few of them. Live shrimp work real good, sand fleas, and the water's been so clear, they're pretty easy to spot, especially if you're running along or trolling motoring along edges of sandbars, grass flats. And I found the more red moss that's in the area, the better opportunity to find the pompano. I think little shrimp and crustaceans are in that red moss. And that red moss doesn't really grow out of the ground. It just rolls in with the cold fronts and the tides and rolls out and moves around. So it's a good idea to pay attention to that. That being said, we had a day, I think Wednesday or Thursday, we caught 17 pompano along with redfish and speckled trout. Like you said, some really nice speckled trout have moved in. And they'll grab that pompano jig as well.
Nice. So I knew we'd get a secret. So trimming the hair on that pompano fly a little bit, making sure. I was always taught, my dad grew up fishing with my grandfather who loved pompano, and my grandfather taught my dad, and my dad taught me to always trim the hair of those jigs. We used to use the bucktails a lot, the yellow bucktails, before Doc's Goofy jigs were real popular. We'd always trim the hair of the jig to basically the apex of that hook, just below the hook. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yes, exactly. And I used to use the bucktails. There was one that came out, it was called a Ny-Lure, NY/lure, and I knew the gentleman that manufactured those, and then he sold out to a bigger company, and I don't know if they even manufacture. But what I liked about it, Dylan, it came in yellow or pink. Those seem to be the two best colors. But it had a shiny chrome head instead of a painted white or chartreuse or pink head. So it had the yellow or pink feathers or hairs, but it had a shiny chrome head. And, man, I did a story back in 01 or 02 he's passed, but he was the editor of Florida Sportsman, a dear friend of mine named Frank Boland. And Frank and I had a day with those Ny-Lures that I don't know if I'll ever repeat a day like that. But like you said, I would do just what your granddad did. I would trim that hair off right below the curve of that hook.
There it is. All right, and looking for the red moss on the edges of the flats is where you're going to find them, huh?
That, and then I have one other thing. The end of this week is the Manatee County CCA banquet, and I hate to say it's sold out, but they're giving away a Pathfinder 22 TRS, and you're still, right up until the drawing, you can purchase one ticket for $50, and I think there's a deal if you buy 5, but don't hold me to that. You can go to cca.org and get all the answers on that. And it's really cool because the people from Maverick Boat Company are there. Rick Murphy will be there, and we draw the ticket, and you don't have to be at the banquet. We roll this big bin, kind of like the Captain Mel hopper, and you reach in, you pull it out, and if the person's there, which I haven't ever seen somebody there that's won it, so usually what we'll do is Rick Murphy will call them and talk to them with the microphone up, and it's pretty exciting. You know, somebody wins. And the guy that won last year bought one ticket. So he spent $50 and he won a, $70,000, $80,000 bay boat.
That's some good luck right there, baby. And that is ccaflorida.org, spelled out
there
Florida.
You go.
Yep, and you can actually join the raffle right on the top of the website. I just looked at it myself, so check it out.
Thank you, Dylan. I'm not real good at that stuff, but I do know you can buy a ticket right up until the drawing almost. And if you are at the banquet, if you're lucky enough to have a ticket to the banquet, there's girls walking around with cowboy hats selling the tickets right up until the drawing. And that's what I always do. I always wait because then I think maybe my ticket will go in on top. But then they roll that darn thing, and you don't know where your ticket ends up.
There you go. I like buying the raffle tickets for the firearms, the ladies with the cowboy hats at all those banquets have, because there's a lot less people getting in the raffle for the firearm than the boat. Little pro tip for you.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
I've had a lot better luck with that. But we also, speaking of CCA banquets, coming up March 21st, 6 p.m., we have the CCA Hillsborough banquet at Higgins Hall. So that's March 21st, 6 p.m. There's still plenty of tickets available for that. So if you can't make it to the Manatee County one, you can join us at the Hillsborough County one, again, 6 p.m., March 21st. So lots of options for you. Thanks for all the Pompano tips, Captain Jeff. How would someone book a trip with you if they wanted to come on down to beautiful Sarasota?
They can find Captain Mike has me on the Real Animals website, and then don't forget at the end of March, the Florida Insider Fishing Report fires back up, and they can go to that page right now, Florida Insider Fishing Report on Facebook or their webpage, and all the captains. There's 9 of us that go around the whole state, and I'm right there. I'm in the Startron Central West region. Instead of giving my number over, because then nobody ever has a pen to write anything down. So you can go to the Real Animals or the Florida Insider site, and or call Captain Mike. He's got me on speed dial.
Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate it, Captain Jeff. Thanks for the phone call and all the Pompano tips this morning.
Hey, thank you, guys. Y'all do a great job, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother. Always a pleasure hearing from the legend, Captain Jeff Page. We've got more on the other side. We got Captain Bobby Woodard from Boca Grande giving us a shout as well. Hopefully we'll hear from you. Remember, 1-800-969-9352 if you want to join the conversation, and we'd love to hear from you. Don't go anywhere, Bartow Ford Real Animals. We'll be right back.
It's been a wild ride in the automotive industry the last...
My thing switched off automatically.
Yeah, the engineer will shut it off if you don't turn it off real quick.
The Jesse guy. What boat does he run down there?
Who?
The Jesse Zubin.
Jesse Zubin, Two Georges in Tarpon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of talks with that guy.
Miss Virginia, Two
yeah.
Georges.
Yeah, I remember those boats.
The Paladin, that's all of them. The Paladin is that Hatteras charter boat.
Yeah, he messages me on Facebook a good bit.
Yeah. Terry Farner said, "Good day, Captain Steve and Dylan. Great show as usual. Kingfish season is around the corner."
It is, yeah.
Speaking of the Farners, Ryan Farner must have butt dialed me yesterday. He FaceTimed me and then hung up immediately. So I assume that was a butt dial.
He's a boat sales guy now. He's selling
he's
boats.
busy.
He's selling
busy.
boats now.
He was at Don's Dock fueling up a beautiful boat the other day, telling me about all the big center consoles that they've been selling.
Yeah.
Big 44s and stuff.
That guy don't stay buttoned up for very long. He's like all over the place.
The Mad Snooker just called in.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, man. That's awesome.
The Mad Snooker.
The vampire himself.
Yeah. Doug Hemmer used to, I think him and Doug Hemmer used to talk a lot back in the day.
Yeah, they were good friends. How do you pronounce his last name? I can never get it. Parmalu?
Yeah.
I always just call him Dave.
Yeah.
I never want to butcher his last name.
He used to come up to Don's like a long time when I worked there when I was a kid. He'd come up there and he'd buy grunts and, you know.
Really?
Like, I don't want any pinfish. You just give me some grunts. Grunts only. Grunts only. You got to get them giants. No good. I mean, ain't nobody carved a name for snook fished it out better than that guy.
No.
I mean, he is like, you say his name and you just think snook, like giant snook, not just normal ones.
Yeah.
Like everybody's told me for years. Even back in the day, used to go fish in John's Pass and catch them.
Yeah. That's awesome. I know my dad tells stories about the one trip that he had with Dave where they sat at the bridge and caught like 50 snook on like 4 and 6-aught reels.
Oh yeah. Back in the day, man, like Troy Nevitt, you know Troy?
Name sounds familiar.
So he's been around the pass for a long time, and when I was working at the dock, he had a little like bass boat, and he would go out and he'd spend 2 hours out on the grass flats leading through pinfish to catch 6 grunts, And then he'd come up to the dock and he'd have some beers and he'd order a pizza and he'd just sit there. And then as soon as the sallooner hit, 10 minutes before he jumped in the boat, he's like, all right, it's time to jump in the boat. You drive out to the bridge, either the old bridge or the new bridge, you anchor up, fish for 15 minutes, he'd come back with 2 snook and a grouper.
That's crazy.
Every day. It was good.
That's amazing.
This is the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, presented by Hubbard's Marina. Now your captains, Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
We're back. Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show. Want to give a shout out to our friends over there at Power Pucks, the world's first power supply trolling motor quick release bracket. It eliminates the need for exterior power plugs, which can snag lines, corrode easily, and really just be an eyesore cluttering up your deck. Go to powerpucks.com and find out for yourself why so many of the pros are making the switch over to Power Pucks. Now, we've got some great callers on the line. We've got Captain Bobby Woodard from Boca Grande, and then we've got the legendary Mad Snooker himself, the vampire of the night, on the line. So don't go anywhere. You definitely want to hear from Captain Dave as well. But first, we've got Captain Bobby Woodard. What's going on, Bobby?
Hey, good morning, fellas. How are y'all?
Another day in paradise, my friend. Absolutely enjoying this morning. Captain Steve Papen in studio, having a good time. So how about you, man? How are things?
Yeah, things are great, man. Actually, we finished up our event up there in Tallahassee, and I'm back down in Fort Charlotte working on the house, man, trying to get it all wrapped up and get back on the water for tarpon season.
Yes, sir. Yeah, the event in Tallahassee was great. We had the FWC commission meeting, and we had conservation at the Capitol dinner with a bunch of legislature folks talking about the right to hunt and fish. And the Florida Guides Association was up there, myself, Captain Bobby, Captain TJ Saunders from the Big Bend. And then we also were working with a lot of other groups on that, too. All Florida, 6a-8a, ASA, Conservation Florida, the list goes on. Everybody in conservation, seemingly, and hunting and fishing was there. It was really, really cool, and great opportunity.
All kinds of acronyms.
Yeah, the acronym list was heavy for sure. And,
yeah, it was great. It was a wonderful event.
It was interesting to see a bunch of fishing guides in suit jackets too. We clean up.
Fishing guides in suit jackets, ranchers in Sunday boots, and it was
airboat guys, hunting guys. Yeah. It was interesting. And then all the lawmakers walked in, and I think their eyes were a little glazed over, talking hunting, fishing. It was fun. And the right to hunt and fish.
Big win for the state of Florida.
Yes, yeah, the right to hunt and fish will be on the ballot. I believe it's going to be Amendment 2, and it's going to be really, really important. Hopefully we can get that passed. It's amazing the opposition that we faced trying to pass an amendment to the Florida Constitution to make the right to hunt and fish a constitutional right for our state. Can you believe that there's a bunch of opposition to that, Steve?
I don't know how there would be. I mean,
it's huge. The wave of opposition. I did an interview on Fox 13, immediately followed up by 2 people, both who were affiliated with PETA, that said, if you pass the right to hunt and fish, you're legalizing the abuse of animals. And it's really, really, really important because, to me, the conservation dollars that comes from hunting and fishing, when you buy a hunting license, a fishing license, a large portion of that goes to conserving waterway access and land rights. I mean, 20% of the wildlife corridor is funded by conservation dollars, a ton of boat ramps. I forget what the percentage is, but most of the boat ramp access is funded by conservation dollars. And remember, when you buy tackle, when you buy firearms, there's an excise tax on a lot of that stuff, and that excise tax goes towards conservation as well. So passing the right to hunt and fish and memorializing that in our Constitution is going to continue to conserve access to the waterways, access to huntable lands. And if you like clean water, you like preserving land area and kind of conservation easements, then the right to hunt and fish is a no-brainer for sure.
Absolutely. It creates generational access, guaranteed generational access.
That's what it's all about. Definitely important for sure. And you can go to allfla.org and then R2 HF. Is it
R2F
H? That's what it is.
Right to fish and hunt. So
yeah, allfla.org. Allfla.org R2FH for more information. That spells it all out, answers all the questions, all your facts. So definitely check it out. It's worth it and definitely very cool. So Boca Grande tarpon fishing right around the corner, huh? When is your first tarpon trip coming up?
First one is actually the second week in April. Is the first one I have on the books right now. But we'll see how the weather is and bait migration, water temp, all that stuff, as it gets a little bit closer and see if we, bump some up a little bit earlier or not. But typically that mid-April time is when I, start doing it pretty hot and heavy. So leading up to that, I'll be out on the flats, fishing, and I'll throw a couple tarpon rods in the boat just in case, we come across some. But as far as specific tarpon-only trips, usually that mid-April kind of, time frame is when we get up and running.
Nice. Well, it's definitely coming soon. Spring is around the corner. And we're excited. I know Steve's excited. Your kingfish are almost here.
Yeah, for sure. But honestly, I mean, I think I'm going to go down there and go tarpon fishing. I've never tarpon fished in Boca Grande Pass. I've never done it.
You've caught some kingfish there, though, huh?
I catch them all.
Allegedly.
He dodged the question, too. Did you guys catch that?
There's fish all over.
I didn't know there was kingfish in Boca Grande, that people did that. But Bobby spilled the beans on that one a couple episodes ago. So that was cool. So you can catch kingfish in areas that you don't think you can, I guess. That's the moral of the story. Yeah, until the rod cracks off and a 180-pound tarpon comes flying out of the water and you're fighting it on 20. You've caught tarpon while trolling for kingfish? Oh, yeah. I mean, it happens on the beach, too, even up here. So you're just sitting there dragging baits down the beach, and then all of a sudden, you think you got the right one and turn around and, this giant tarpon comes flying out of the water, and now you're tied up to that thing for 2 hours because you're fighting it on a whippy kingfish rod. You can't put any heat on it. So. Yeah, trolling ladyfish, you'll have that, huh? Yeah, ladyfish. I mean, I had one eat a runner. Really? All over anything. Yeah, I don't think they really care. Huh. If they're there and they're hungry,
tarpon don't care. If tarpon are hungry, they'll eat anything you put in front of them. But then it's the days that they don't eat anything you put in front of them. Yeah, that makes them frustrating, But yeah, they're not picky. Nice. Well, how would someone reach you, Bobby, if they wanted to book a tarpon trip this season? Yeah, man, pretty simple. Just give me a shout, 863-224-1418, or check out the website, captain-bobby.com. And just quickly, I want to throw out there for the folks listening, Florida Guides Association, looking for new guide members, but additionally, you do not have to be a guide to join the Florida Guides Association and help us do the good work up in Tallahassee and all over. It's florida-guides.com. And we have associate member options and corporate membership options as well. Beautiful. Couldn't have done it better myself. Appreciate you, Bobby. Thanks for giving us a shout this morning, and drive safe as you head down south. Thanks, guys. Tight lines. Take care, buddy. Appreciate it, Bobby. And we've got Captain Dave, the Mad Snooker, on the line. We don't want to get to him quite yet, though, because we're up against the clock. We want to get to him on the other side where we'll have plenty of time. Plus, we've got our safe boating tip of the week from our good friend, Captain Jim Fogel, brought to you by our friends at Milwaukee Tool, coming up as well. And hopefully, we're going to hear from you as well. 1-800-969-9352 if you want to give us a shout. If you have fishing questions, you want to bring us a fishing report, anything at all, give us a call, and we will be right back.
The preceding program was paid for by Real Animals Fishing.
Broadcasting live from the Farrah Accident Attorney Studios. WFLA Tampa, WXTV HD2 Clearwater. Listen on the free iHeart Radio.
Hopefully Dave will hold on for us. I'm going to hit the bathroom real quick.
A police-involved shooting outside Jackson Memorial Hospital in Miami yesterday morning. Police responded to a 911 call regarding two men in a dispute. When police arrived, they found a man wielding a knife. An officer then discharged their weapon at the suspect. Miami police officer Rafael Horta says after being shot, the suspect tried to make a run for it.
Officers that were on the scene instantly rendered aid to this offender at that time, and he is currently getting treatment at JMH.
The Florida Department of Law Enforcement is investigating. Hillsborough Sheriff's deputies have arrested 39-year-old Andre Scott on a human trafficking charge and rescued a 29-year-old woman who had been reported missing from Missouri. Investigators say the woman told them she'd been coerced by Scott into engaging in sexual acts and selling explicit content online. A mental health professional is coordinating the woman's return to her guardian in Missouri. Meanwhile, an armed standoff in Pasco County ends peacefully. Deputies responded to a report of a suspicious incident in the Fairmont Drive area of Holiday at around 9:30 Friday morning. 58-year-old Eric Dykstra was inside the home in violation of a no-contact order. Dykstra reportedly fired at deputies, then hid behind propane tanks and threatened to blow up the house, which led to an evacuation of nearby homes. Dykstra
Always makes me nervous.
What's that?
Leaving the room.
Don't worry, man. I got you. I'll hit the button and start talking.
We're back.
Sponsor, Republican Senator Corey Simon says it's not much different than Florida's existing.
What do you got going on today?
I am going to the gym, and then we're going up to the property.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
We'll rip around on the side-by-side. Got a bunch of new toys. I need to exercise as well. Got a new, I've been searching for this firearm for probably 3 years, and it finally became available. It was an allocated thing, so they only ship a few over from Germany. It's a H&K SP5. It's basically a civilian MP5. So it's beautiful.
What do you think about that Scorpion?
They're cool. They're really cool.
So
I don't like it as much myself because it's just the Scorpion to me has too much firearm. I bought what's called a Strybog. It's this Czechoslovakian PDW, much like the Scorpion, but it's a little less bulkiness. Looks a little bit more aggressive.
Does it?
Yeah. Over on Central Avenue. A Scorpion? Oh, you bought it already. Oh, okay. Yeah, they're cool. I mean, Captain Chris has 2 of them.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a...
Dad has one, too.
But I don't want to shoot it until I get it, kind of how I want it. I think it needs a buttstock, and honestly, I was thinking about putting a suppressor on it, but
yeah,
I found out all the stuff that you have to do to put a suppressor on that thing.
Yeah, and you have to be careful.
Or something. I don't know that much about guns.
The tax stamp's pretty easy to do. It's just a weight.
Yeah,
you have to apply.
Like 11 months or something like that.
It depends. Sometimes it can be 2 months. Sometimes it can be 12 months. The buttstock, though, you have to be careful on because you can put a brace on it.
Yeah.
But you can't put a buttstock.
There's a
unless you do
company
an
called
SBR.
C something Tactical.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. I'll tell you exactly who it is because Chad runs this dude's bow.
And you have to be careful.
SB Tactical. So the guy that owns that company, Chad Hickman, runs that guy's bow.
What?
Yeah.
He's local? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's a cool company.
Yeah, he sold 12 million of those things last year.
Wow.
12 million of those braces.
Well, they almost made braces illegal.
Right.
And the Supreme
just
Court
went through a huge battle with them and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I can get one from that guy.
But you have to make sure it's a brace, because if you put a buttstock on that weapon, you committed federal crime.
That's so weird. I don't understand why. So what? It just has to be folding? Because it looks like a buttstock.
Honestly, it's a weird gray area because it is essentially, I don't know, we're probably committing crimes talking about it, but yeah, you have to, it is essentially a lot like a buttstock, but it's different.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Man,
And like the foregrip, like if you put a foregrip on there, like like an actual handle in the front, then that's illegal too, because that makes it an SBR as well. You could put a little angle thing on the front, but you can't put a handle.
There's like a little thing for you to hold. It's like goes around your hand like that.
That's part of the weapon, and it's not a foregrip. It's just a kind of a brace. Again, kind of gray area.
It's just a 9mm pistol. It's all it is. It's just, it's not this.
It's a short barrel rifle. That's what it's considered. Or that's considered a pistol, I guess. But once you add a foregrip, then it's a short barrel rifle. And then you have to have an SBR. And that's another tax stamp, much like getting a silencer would be.
That's so crazy that
It
you have
is.
to go through all this stuff just to.
Yeah, I don't have any SBRs myself because I didn't want to do the tax stamp thing for that, but I have applied for the other thing we were talking about.
I just feel like, for like home defense or something like that, I would rather have that than like a long-barreled something, or like even a shotgun, like
A short, a 9mm pistol or like a 300 blackout is really a 9mm pistol is your best bet for home defense.
Yeah.
Or a.
Yeah, and I've got a little lot, but
Especially, well, I'm talking about like a Scorpion or a MP5 because you're not. It's not 17 rounds in a Glock. You're talking 30 rounds.
yeah, and I'm gonna miss a lot. I'm probably gonna miss a bunch.
Yeah.
Media Incorporated.
Welcome to the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, your weekly voyage into Florida fishing. Presented by Hubbard's Marina, hosted by Captain Mike Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
We're back, Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio. Captain Dylan Hubbard in studio this morning with Captain Steve Papen from Fintastic Fishing Charters, talking fishing. Hopefully we'll hear from you. 1-800-969-9352 if you want to join the conversation. Want to make sure we give a shout out to our friends over at Ace Heating and Cooling. For over 20 years now, Ace Heating and Cooling has been a name you can trust in the heating and air conditioning business in Hillsborough County. Chris Myers and his guys service all brands, and they do residential and commercial repairs, maintenance, and full replacements. And they send out technicians, not salesmen, because they try to build long-lasting customer relationships that hold up over the test of time. Call 813-657-8818 or look them up online at brandonac.net and find out for yourself why Ace Heating and Cooling is the easy choice for the Real Animals fishing team. With that, we've got Captain Dave Parmalu on the line, the mad snooker himself, and he's been holding a while. We appreciate you hanging on, Captain Dave. How are you, buddy?
I'm great. How are you guys doing this morning?
It's another day in paradise, my friend, and excited to chat with you.
Did you give Captain Mike the morning off?
Yeah, yep. He's not got the morning off. He's out there hustling on the softball fields, probably cracking some home runs. But yes, he's not in studio.
Arm behind his back.
Yeah, exactly. Making everybody look bad out there, I'm sure. How's the snook fishing going for you, man?
Well, I've been. Does anybody ever call in and say fishing stinks? No. Does anybody ever call in and give you the fishing's no good? No.
Sometimes.
The water's cold.
Yeah. Makes it a little challenging for you.
Well, my last trip out, we caught like 30 snook, but we also ended up catching like 18 pretty darn big bluefish. They came in out of nowhere.
Wow.
We were fishing an outgoing tide, and the bluefish just came in like crazy after we'd caught a bunch of snook. When you catch snook, a lot of times they get excited and they regurgitate, and they basically form a chum, and the vibrations of the fight and the snook regurgitating form like a chum slick, and it drives the bluefish right in, and then they take over.
Nice.
And that's what happened there. And then I proved the law of gravity still works at the boat ramp after that fishing trip when I fell out of the boat and hit the boat ramp.
Oh, brutal.
I knocked the tooth out and cracked some ribs. That was fun.
Oh my gosh. That's not cool.
Yeah, what do you get? That's what happens. You come out of a boat that particular boat was like 8 feet off the ground, but yeah, well, it is what it is. But yeah, I can't wait for next week for this weather to warm up.
Yes. Yeah. And so let me just sum that up for guests or for listeners. So essentially he was saying fishing's kind of slow. The water's too cold. He only caught 30 snook. Tough.
Boo-hoo.
Sounds like a slow bite.
Well, they're not big. They weren't big. We caught a bunch of snook, and then, like I said, the bluefish moved in. And I'm seeing a few trout in the lights and things like that. But overall, the water's like areas I've been fishing, the water's 64, 65 degrees, if that, probably 63 by today, this morning after the next couple of mornings here. But, it's only going to get better. And I swear, the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, you look up and you say, hey, Mother Nature, I bet you can't give us all 4 seasons in 6 weeks. And she says, hold my beer.
It has been a little bit challenging, to say the least, for sure.
The wind, it's not raining, it's blowing. It's not blowing, it's cold. And then you get 3 or 4 good days, but it's not long enough to get the water temperature up into, say, the high 60s, low 70s.
Yeah.
I think we're headed there probably toward the later part of next week, and we're going to get things cranked up. And I will be doing a seminar for Assault Strong on Wednesday in Tampa, March 20th, with Joe and Luke Simons.
Where at? March 20th?
Oh, you had to ask me that.
Put you on the spot.
It would be on the Assault Strong website, and I know I have the address written down, but I don't have it for memory.
Yes.
I'm getting toward the end of my day. This is like I asking you some question at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Touche. It is the end of the day for you. I get it.
I'll give the address and get it. But if they look on the Salt Strong website, it's the Tampa meeting, March 20th, on a Wednesday evening. There, I'll be up there. I'm going to try to do something different for the seminar, and I might even be coursed into giving away a half-night trip.
Wow.
Thinking, what the heck,
Yeah, give away a charter. That's worth going to the seminar right there.
Well, I'd like to win that 22-foot Pathfinder from the CCA. Holy moly! I think I'm gonna get a ticket. The funny thing, I can see Rick Murphy right now. He pulls my name out and he goes, Captain Dave Palmer. He drops it back in, pulls another one out.
Yeah, I went on the ccaflorida.org website and looked at that Pathfinder giveaway, but then right next to it is they're giving away like a 27-foot contender. So I think I'd pass up the Pathfinder raffle and enter the contender raffle, but that's me.
Well, for an extra $50, yeah, why not? And I know what I'd do with a 27 contender. I'd sell it instantly. I have no
to buy a 25 contender bay.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
I'm a bay boat guy, but all right. Well, I'll let you guys get to it. It's always good to, I was like, I was listening. I'm like, I haven't called in forever.
Yeah.
And then you had the Jeff Page on there, and I'm like, yes. Jeff is just, that guy's got gills.
Yeah, he does. Some serious Pompano info he shared as well. That was cool.
Oh, I mean, he was giving away some incredible secrets right there. Heck, I was learning. I didn't know you trimmed the jig.
Oh yeah. The old jig. I was surprised he left the fly on the jig. A lot of guys will separate it, so that was cool to hear that he leaves it right on the jig, right out of the package. Just a little hair trimming to the apex of the hook and ready to fish.
I'll tell you, I was listening. I'm going, and I was learning. I'm going, wow, I didn't know.
Me too.
Whenever I catch a pompano, it's a bycatch, and I was running down the intercoastal one night in Venice. And I apparently spooked a huge school over like a 3-foot deep section of water.
Nice.
And I had 7 pompano land in the boat all at once. They jumped.
Just kept moving.
I had a whole school. I was cruising along about 25 over this flats, and a whole school of pompano just scattered, and 7 of them landed in the boat. And the guy goes, look at this. He's got them jumping in the boat. And to this day, if I hadn't seen it, I wouldn't have believed it. And I go, you want him? He goes, no, I don't want him. I go, I don't eat fish. We just threw him over. So I wasn't going to kill him. He didn't want him, and I don't eat fish. So, all right. Well, Dylan, one of these nights we got to do some John's Pass snook fishing.
I am ready. Steve will come with us.
I'm in. I haven't fished the snook fish in that pass in forever.
Where I got to find a boat ramp up there this time of year. I mean, it seems like the boat ramp. Remember the boat ramp over by Cosmecos on Blind Pass on Treasure Island behind the softball fields?
Yes, sir. Yeah, Egan Park.
I used to use Egan Park all the time, but now they lock it up at I think 11.
Wow. I think the Jungle Parada boat ramp's open.
Bay Pines is open.
Yeah, Bay Pines. Yeah.
Bay Pines.
Mm-hmm.
Parada, okay, that would work. Yeah, I'll drag my boat up there, and when we, I can maybe have your bait guy stockpile us a bunch of those big fish.
Oh yeah, yeah, we got you covered. We got a dock that we can use too, so let's do it.
Well, if not, we'll send Cliff Vanderbosch out for him.
I like it. We got our own built-in bait system.
It was good to get a call in here, and it's time for a safe boating tip with Jim.
Yes, sir. How would someone book a trip with you, Captain Dave, before you go?
Just madsnooker.com or 727-570-9711. Just call me or text me, or just send me an email on my website at madsnooker.com. And remember, if you're going with me, you're going in the late afternoon, evening. I'm not the morning guy. There's enough people on the water in the daytime. They don't need me out there. I'll blind them with my bright white skin anyway.
Well, we appreciate it, Captain Dave. Thanks for the call, my friend.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
See you, buddy. Always a pleasure to hear from one of the legends. We've got Captain Jim Fogel on the line, speaking of legends, and our safe boating tip of the week brought to you by Milwaukee Tool. How you doing, Captain Jim?
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Captain Dillon, Captain Steve.
Morning.
Yeah, it's not been a good month for boaters, guys. We've lost several fishermen this month. This has really been bad.
No good.
A 28 footer went out about 35 miles this week, and I think it was about 2 weeks ago. And when they stopped to start to fish, or they stopped at a waypoint and noticed the boat was very sloppy, it was low in the water and very sloppy. They opened the hatch, the whole engine compartment was filled up. They were in a twin-engine IO. I don't know how many of them, if they all three went down into this cabin to get life jackets. Anyway, one of them didn't make it out. The boat rolled over. Luckily, the Coast Guard was in the area and spotted them and picked up the two guys that were hanging on to coolers.
Brutal.
And, of course, most of you heard about the four guys that went out of Venice on this 23-foot, 19-year-old boat that went out on Saturday morning. On Sunday morning, it was reported that they had not been back. Launched a big search, and no one nor the boat was found.
I think they're still searching. I came in.
Pardon me?
I came in 2 days ago, and on my way home, they had a C-130 flying patterns out in front of Paso Grosso.
Crazy. Sad to hear.
Yeah,
that.
well, there's also a guy that, somebody went out by himself. I think he went out of Sarasota. His boat was found somewhere around Hudson, and he has not been found either.
Wow.
From what I hear. But, folks, please, please, please be careful out there. Think about the things that could happen before you go out. Make sure you have a VHF waterproof radio, a little handheld one. I think they're probably $85 at the most now, or at least you can get them for that. A personal locator beacon certainly is a little bit more expensive than a radio, but it's guaranteed to, get somebody to you in a hurry. Try to wear your life jackets. I mean, I've told you guys stories of me and a buddy sinking out in the bay and how fast the boat went down. That's probably what happened to this 28-foot boat. I mean, 1 minute you're fine, the next minute you're going down. So please be prepared for that. Have your life jackets readily available if you don't have them on. Of course, we'd like for everybody to wear a life jacket all the time. But if you don't do that, please have them where you can get your hands on them in a hurry, because it's really hard to get them out of a hatch when the boat's upside down, and very hard to get them on in the water. If you haven't tried that, put yourself in a life jacket in the pool and try to put it on and see how hard it is.
Not easy for sure. And have that ditch bag ready.
Yeah.
Ditch bag and a float plan,
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely, yes. Always file a float plan. I mean, like I said, these four guys that went out weren't reported until Sunday morning, and the folks that reported them had no clue about where they went out of or where they were going.
Challenging.
So please tell somebody what's going on. You don't have to tell them the exact waypoint, but tell them how far you're going out, how deep you're going to be, and so forth and so on.
Amen.
We got to do better than that, guys.
Yes, sir.
Do better.
Thank you, Captain
All right,
Jim
thank
Fogel. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys, for the Coast Guard Auxiliary in St. Pete, Jim Fogel. Be safe out there.
Yes, sir. That safe boating tip was brought to you by our good friends over at Milwaukee Tool. Go to MilwaukeeTool.com and find out for yourself why the real animals love our Milwaukee tools. Hopefully we'll hear from you as well. 1-800-969-9352. We'll be right back.
High water alarms are not mandatory on boats.
Yeah.
Dude, do you know how many people would have been saved? I mean, stories just like that one right there.
So the Coast Guard head of Sector St. Pete search and rescue, like the command center, just texted me. He said the search for the 4 guys out of Venice was suspended late Monday night. There are patrols, and the patrols are what you probably saw, and the patrols is what saved the guys from Friday 2 weeks ago, the 3 guys that he was talking about. Because we are in a training center. Sector St. Pete is a training center for all of District 7. So they send all the people down here to train. So a lot of times they'll have air assets or boat assets already deployed because they're on a training mission or doing a patrol or just training patrols. So we're blessed in that fact that when a lot of times when we call for help, they're already deployed, or at least they're staged, ready to deploy. So they can react a lot quicker than other districts or other sectors.
Dude, I got high water alarms on both my boats. I will never be in a boat without a high water alarm.
Well,
Dude, it
also,
just lets you know when you have a problem before it's a major problem.
But also with high water alarms, you have to test them.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people don't do, and it's constant that we're constantly replacing high water alarms.
I haven't had a problem with mine one bit. I've got the original one I put in the CV.
Because you have an OUPV vessel, so an operator or uninspected passenger vessel, right? So your UPV doesn't have the Coast Guard on it, checking it all the time. So the responsibility falls to you, and you do a good job of maintaining your high water alarms. But average Joe angler, if they don't have high water alarms, a lot of boats don't.
All you do is put a float switch in your bilge, mount it up higher, mount it to a bell, and it's done. And then when you're down there at the end of your day and you're spraying out of your bilge, spraying off all the salt and stuff like that, you reach down, you just flip it up and it goes off, and then you put it back down and you're good.
Yeah.
But I mean, mine are like, if I get 4 or 5 inches of water in my boat, it goes off immediately.
Yeah.
There should never be 4 or 5 inches of water in my boat, ever, in any circumstance whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I've got pumps in the back, pumps in the front, both of them are float switches. So even at the lowest thing, like the thing goes off and normal water getting in the boat throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got 4 inches of water. At least I know, okay, my back float switch isn't working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why you don't see any factory boats coming with them. Yeah. You don't see options for them. Like I told Doug when he was building this boat, I was like, hey, put a high water alarm in. He's like, it's not an option.
That's crazy.
We have to put it on ourselves.
That's crazy.
And it's the cheapest thing in the world. I buy the the bell, like the school bell looking thing, and they're like $60, and then you get a $40 float switch. So for $100, which is cheaper than any reel you have in your T-top, or you probably got $100 worth of braid on your reels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need to save your life. Save everybody's life.
Crazy.
Nuts.
Radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dynamite.
This is the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, presented by Hubbard's Marina. Now your captains, Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
Captain Dylan Hubbard here from Hubbard's Marina. We got Captain Steve Papen from Fintastic Fishing Charters in studio this morning. Want to give a shout out to our friends over at Relentless Perpetual Edge Knives, the world's first self-sharpening knife that sharpens as it cuts. Ultra hard carbide, never rust titanium blade, and true grit glass reinforced ABS handle on a knife that is perfectly balanced. And they come in 5 great models. Take the work out of filleting a pile of fish and get your Relentless Knives today. Go to relentlessknivesusa.com and find out for yourself why this is the knife all the pros are talking about. Again, Relentless Knives. Check them out for sure. We've got Mike Mesereau from Tampa Bay Sporting Clays on the line this morning. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, brother. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good talking to you.
Yeah, man. I was traveling home from Tallahassee on the interstate and passed a truck that had the Tampa Bay Sporting Clays bumper sticker and was thinking of you.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
You coming back from one of your board meetings? Up in Valley.
Yeah, we were at the Capitol for the FWC Commission meeting, and the Florida Guides Association attended this conservation night at the Capitol where we were talking to legislators about the right to hunt and fish bill or the right to hunt and fish amendment that is going to be added to the ballot coming up November 5th. Something good to vote for.
Oh, brother, thank you for all your hard work, man. I know it's not easy, but I know your heart is there, and you are just passionate about everything you do. And you know what? We need more of you out there doing that. So
well, I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm not, your head's pretty big already, but I want to blow it up again. That's all right.
I do have a large head. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's hard to find a hat that fits.
Man, everything's going great. We got a little winning the fight shoot today. Got my Ducks Unlimited Tampa Bay 100 shoot tomorrow. In the afternoon, we're going to have barbecue and shoot. And I'm also going to reach out to you guys and actually anybody who wants to come for the steaks and clays next week. We've got fillets wrapped in bacon and potatoes, the works, dessert, beer and wine after you shoot. And anyway, we're going to have a nice little shindig.
Did you say fillets with bacon? I'm sorry.
Fish fillets, steak fillets.
Yes, that's what I was hoping about. I didn't hear anything else after that. That sounds awesome.
No, man, I'd love to see you guys. Hopefully you'll be out there for the children's home shoot. I know Mike's going to be out there late March for that.
Yes,
so
sir.
Hopefully you guys will come out and give me a little cameo performance or something.
I look forward to it. It's always fun to get out there. Definitely a blast, literally. Pun intended. And you guys got everything you need. You can literally show up to Tampa Bay Sporting Clays with nothing but the shirt on your back and hopefully some pants too. And they got the golf carts, the firearms, the ammo, everything. So it's a pretty cool place and easy to go. And you don't need any experience with Sporting Clays. You can show up and they got it all set up for you.
Yep, we've got range officers. We got everything to help you out. I tell people you can come in your flip-flops and shoot and have fun. It's just it's a blast, like you said. Fun for everyone.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, listen, thanks for everything. Have a great one. I'll reach out to you guys for next Wednesday, and have a great weekend.
All right,
thanks
brother.
for everything you do.
See you, man. Thank you.
See you.
Always a pleasure. Tampa Bay Sporting Clays, mytbsc.com, mytbsc.com. Have you ever been out there?
I have not been there.
Dude, Sporting Clays is a lot of fun. And they do it right out there at Tampa Bay Sporting Clays.
I've got a real good customer of mine who's an ace at that. His whole family does it. They, shoot clays. And he's really, really good at it.
It's a family fun activity. My wife is scary good at it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. She's really good at it. And even young kids, you can get a 410 in their hand and they can do some work.
That sounds like something my son would love.
Dude, your son would dig it.
I bet.
And it's not far away, and it's fun. Just riding around on the golf cart, and you got the shotguns on the golf cart and going to all the different stands. They have different courses based on your experience level. So you can do an easy beginner course, and then you can work your way all up to where the clays are jumping on the ground and flying at 100 miles an hour, or you have ones where they kind of lob them up in the air, and it's nice and slow and easy.
That's for me.
Yeah.
That's mine.
Yeah. They have a little bit of both. But he said they have a DU shoot, the Ducks Unlimited people. I bet they're going to have some serious courses out there for the duck people. I'm sure they're experts.
That sounds like a blast. I think I want to do that for sure.
Yeah, it's like golf with a gun.
Yeah. Well, I don't like golf, but I'm okay with that.
Shooting shotguns sounds awesome.
That sounds fun.
Definitely check out our friends over at Affordable Roofing Systems. Whether you need a shingle, metal, tile, or flat roof, our friends at Affordable Roofing Systems are your safest choice for repairs or replacements. With over 3 decades of roofing experience, give them a shout, 888-397-ROOF, or visit them at affordableroofingflorida.com. They're defined by integrity, respect, and honesty, and they have a personalized and professional approach to doing business. Check them out, and hopefully we'll hear from you as well. Give us a call, 1-800-969-9352. Still got a lot of show left. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
son would dig it.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
mytbsc.com. Yeah, the first time I went out there, I was like, I've never done this before. I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't want to be embarrassed. But like the beginner course is really, really easy to catch on to, and they teach you how to do everything. It's fun. You have like a little controller, so you step up into a stand, and you're standing in the stand. You load your shotgun with your 2 shells, and then you hit the. You have someone. You say pull, and someone hits the button on the controller, and the clay pigeon comes out, and it's fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, it's funny you say that, but I got the guy that owns that 39.
Yeah.
That's the guy that's like, his whole family's really, his kids are all really good at it.
Oh, really?
And we were out this last weekend.
And throwing them off the boat.
They were throwing beers up there.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't miss one. He didn't miss one. He's really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a goofy old dude. Like, you wouldn't think he's good at it, but he's good, man.
Surgical.
He's out there. He loves his guns.
America.
You ever drinking protein shakes?
Yep.
Dunkin' Donut coffee followed by protein shakes.
Hey, black coffee, man. It's good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, black coffee and water. And now I got to get the protein an hour before the workout. Fuel.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I cannot believe that weather jumped up for next week. That sucks.
Yeah, you kind of made me disappointed now.
Yeah. I was celebrating yesterday. Like
the near shore side.
we had a mini party yesterday.
It's all of it.
Really?
Sunday's coming down. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, not good. Thursday morning, maybe. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all shot.
Like literally yesterday, it was dark blue all the way through the weekend coming up. So I think that frontal boundary, just they're forecasting it to make it further down now. But if they change that report back, then all of a sudden that front doesn't make it down, it'll be beautiful. So that's what I'm going to hope for. We've got a 39-hour going out the 27th. That'll be a good trip because they'll be fishing right ahead of that front.
What time's your boat? What's today?
Today's Saturday. 6 a.m.
I'm not showing horrible out there.
No, I talked to them last night.
11 to 15.
They were texting me last night from the inReach, and they said it was 3 or 5. They haven't answered my text this morning, though.
It is 6 foot at the 100-mile buoy. I mean, not
At the
that
100
one. That one.
The southwest one? Yeah, I think that's
6.2.
That's not bad. On the Florida, that's really not bad. When you're anchored up on that boat, I mean, 6 foot's not, like 4 foot on most boats, you know.
Well, 4 foot's not really that fun.
True. But moving around's not fun. Even like honestly, 12 foot on the Florida is very doable at anchor. Just when you're moving, it sucks.
Yeah. Well, you just pull everybody inside.
Or
on the back.
Sit down. Everybody needs to sit down.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. You can sit up front. It's not like the boat gets real airborne, but you'll get wet.
What number do these guys call in?
1-800-969-9352. Yeah, well, it's at 1-800-969-9352. Who's calling?
Charlie Tida. Does inshore stuff.
Oh, cool.
But he used to be a Marine. He used to be a Marine unit sheriff.
Oh, cool.
Out of here. Super nice guy. He does like inshore fishing trips. He listens to the show all the time.
Oh, really?
Every time I'm on it, he sends me a text.
Oh, that's
great
cool.
show, man. Great show. I think he listens every week. Super nice guy.
Secure your spot today at synapsummit.com. That's synapsummit.com. Synapse Florida and the Florida Next Foundation is a 501c3 not-for-profit.
Man, I didn't know that about the channel, man. I thought that was somebody's responsibility. Well, they did it down in Sarasota, so what'd they just do? Get private funding? Like, all the businesses on the water have to pay a bunch of money to get that done? I'm going to go out there with a shovel.
I think what'll happen is when they dredge along our area and they make John's Pass overall deeper, that'll help the channel. Because when you make the throat...
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I just, it's just been problems forever. It's like even before that beach was out in front of your place, it took all that land or took that water from you guys. Like, even back when I was a kid, I remember there being, the big bar out there and this and that and the other. But dude, that last storm that came through, it was the second to last one. When you could like walk all the way out onto that thing.
Yeah, 8a.
That's
That
scary.
was the big one.
That's scary.
Yeah.
You leave in the morning and sometimes the tide's so low, I don't even want to get up on plane in my boat until I.
We literally have to go clutch ahead.
Yeah.
Now your captains, Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
We're back. Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio. Captain Dylan Hubbard from Hubbard's Marina and Captain Steve Papen from Fintastic Fishing Charters in studio this morning. Want to give a shout out to our friends over at Power Pucks. That is the world's first powered supply trolling motor quick release bracket. It eliminates the need for exterior power plugs, which can snag lines, corrode easily, and just be an eyesore cluttering up your deck. Go to powerpucks.com and find out for yourself why so many of the pros are making the switch over to Power Pucks. Now, we've got our good friend, Captain Van Hubbard, on the line. How are you doing, Van Lee?
I'm doing fabulous, buddy. Got up there to see Gator Jim yesterday. Got me a couple of new fishing poles. I needed some new pompano poles. They took good care of me, good people. Only I told them that Dylan sent me, not Mike. Is that okay?
I appreciate it. Yes, our good friends over at Gator Gyms make our live show on Sunday nights possible. They do a lot for us, so it's always good to have our friends stop by and check them out. They've got a huge selection, killer deals. It is a great shop for sure. Gator Gyms Tackle, 3301 Pinellas Point Drive South in St. Pete. So you stopped by and got some new tackle, huh?
Yep, and a very, very knowledgeable staff. I told them what I wanted. They took me right straight to what I needed. Didn't waste any time. Just great people. Just really enjoyed it.
And what pompano jigs did you pick up? What color?
Oh, I already have my jigs.
What color are you using?
I have old Super Dudes. You and I talked about them with Bill Miller a while back. The cream head and the bright yellow skirt.
Okay, all right. Just double checking. Making sure we're still on the same page. We haven't changed it up.
Absolutely. Well, we use Doc Scoopy jigs regular too, and we add the little flies on there. I use different colors because you never know which one's going to work best.
Okay. Switching up the colors, and then are you looking for that red rolling moss too? Or where are you finding the pompano? How are you finding them?
I'm trying to stay away from the red rolling moss. It covers the good grass. I don't like it, but I have to deal with it. But I look for the fish.
You're just looking for them by cruising the flats?
I'm idling around looking for. They might skip. They might just boil up.
Okay.
But I'm looking for activity.
I got
and trying to stay away from dolphins.
Amen to that. How's the fishing been down there in Boca Grande? What are we seeing besides the pompano?
A lot of trout, some small ones. Went out the other day, had some kids, and we're playing around in 23 feet of water. We caught 20-some little gags.
Wow.
One little black, half a dozen little red grouper, some speckled trout, sea robins, triggerfish, one yellowtail, a bunch of mangoes, and a bunch of lane snapper. Just
That's crazy.
Great variety. Kept the kids busy. They had a good time. We caught some Hubbard snapper, or I call them lipstick fish, front. And,
Love it.
We filleted them out so they had dinner, and just good time. And the inside fishing was slow, so the outside fishing bailed us out.
Nice. And the yellowtail snapper in 23 feet of water, it continues to show the spatial distribution is growing on those fish. It's amazing how many yellowtail snapper we're seeing all the way up here, how you guys are seeing them shallower. It's a good sign. There's so many negatives in our fishery, right? So it's good to celebrate the positives. And I think lane snapper and the size and numbers of those, and then the yellowtails are definitely two things we can celebrate. And mutton too. We're seeing more mutton up here as well.
The lanes have been huge. I mean,
huge.
And it's crazy. You catch
beautiful.
way bigger ones than that 50 to 70 foot than you do out deep.
It's nuts. Good to see. Good to see
Steve,
some
I look
positives.
forward to meeting you one of these days. Your buddy Chad Hickman, I went up to see his wife yesterday and get cut on.
Oh no, is that Stephanie? Right? I think. Yeah.
No, Jennifer.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right.
Close.
That was close.
All right. That's all right.
Yeah. He's been trying to talk me into getting in there too.
Well, it's the sooner you go, the less they got to cut and burn. Okay.
Yep. I hear you.
Yeah, you got to get in to see.
Looking forward to Dylan's podcast tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. I am too. It's going to be exciting. We've got Andy Strelchek, the regional administrator for the Southeast for NOAA Fisheries. So the head guy in charge of NOAA for the entire Southeast, for all of the South Atlantic, the Caribbean, the Gulf. The head guy in charge is going to be on the Sunday night show tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Plus, we've got Sean Meehan, the recreational fishing coordinator for NOAA Fisheries, joining us as well. So, star-studded live show tomorrow night. I'm excited to ask some questions.
I might stop by your house for that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be real interesting.
Somebody's done a good job to get those people involved and to keep the people involved. And it's like we've talked about many times. If you the squeaky wheel gets the grease. If you're not with a unified voice speaking up for your rights in your fishery, then you're going to lose it.
Yeah, and I'm a pretty large, pretty squeaky wheel.
Yeah, for sure. It's a squeaky wheel we need. Don't go anywhere, Dylan.
Well, we appreciate it, Van Lee.
I got one thing I got to add. It's so good that you're willing to listen and learn. So many people get an attitude, and you're willing to listen and learn and grow, and so many people miss out on that. So, God bless you, buddy. Keep up the good work.
I had a pretty big attitude, but I appreciate it. Thank you. So how would someone book a trip with you, Van, before you get off?
Captain Van, CAPT Van @.com.
CaptainVan.com. All right, brother. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling.
God bless y'all. See you soon.
See you, man. So, funny story. What he was alluding to there with me listening is probably 5 or 6 years ago, like 2016 time frame. I was spewing some information on the internet. I was a little misguided, maybe not so informationally informed. And he was like, "Hey, you really need to look into this marine recreational education program and get educated." I was like, "Listen here. I know what I'm talking about.
I know everything.
I don't need to get educated." And I had an attitude and I was not listening, but over time changed that around, and he talked me into it and definitely sent me down this path that we're on. So you guys can thank Captain Van Hubbard for setting me on the squeaky wheel path.
he pulled the rubber band, huh?
Yeah, he did.
Let you go.
Yeah, I got to thank him for that. We've got Captain Charlie Tita on the line. How you doing, Captain Charlie?
Hey, good morning, Captain. How y'all doing today?
Doing well, my friend.
What's up, Charlie?
Hey, what's up, Captain? How you doing, man?
Good.
Just really wanted to call in and just say good morning, man. I've never called in, listen a lot when I can listen, if I'm not fishing, that kind of thing, and just compliment you guys on the learning side that I always hear from you guys. To be honest with you, a lot of people don't think that it's not just about fishing; it's about the science behind it all. And I learn a lot from you guys. Steve a long time; he's been like that.
Awesome. Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you calling in. You're always welcome to call in with your fishing reports and information. And I'm glad to hear that you've enjoyed the show and were able to give us a shout this morning and share that information, man. How have you been fishing this week?
Yeah. I've run trips south around Bradenton, Anna Maria, out that way. It's been a real good bite over the last couple of weeks inside that 9-mile fence for sure. Mang's good. Obviously, those big old, some of the biggest fawn and sheep's head I've seen this year, and there's also no shortage of gags. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Like Capt. Van Hubbard was saying, he caught so many gags in 20 foot of water. These undersized, these next generation of gag groupers seem to be really healthy. So
there's some studs in there too,
and that's
big ones.
That's what I'm thinking is the silver lining in all this conversation. Like, we're all pissed off about this gag grouper season being so short, and it does suck, and it hurts business, it hurts access. I get it, and it's hurting me, so I understand. But one thing that I want to kind of mention is we're all looking at all these juvenile gags, and it's that stock assessment's gonna happen again. The most recent stock assessment for gag grouper is using data from 2019. It was the stock assessment was completed in 2021, but it was using data from 2019, and 2021 was 3 years ago. So they're going to start a new stock assessment on gag soon. Go ahead, Charlie.
How do we fix that and close the gap on that timeline? You know.
So there's a lot of things in the works, and we just don't have enough time in this show to go into all the intricacies, but definitely there's a lot of things in the work that are going to speed up that timeline. One of the biggest problems that we face is we share one science center with 3 councils. So all of the South Atlantic, from North Carolina to the south of the Keys, and then all the Gulf north of the Keys all the way to Brownsville, Texas, and the Caribbean. So 3 different management councils share one science center down there in Miami, the Southeast Fisheries Science Center. So that science center is responsible to do stock assessments for all 3 of those councils. So even with a fish like red snapper or gag grouper, these really important kind of pillar species to the Gulf, we're only seeing stock assessments every 4, 5, 6 years, and it's kind of unacceptable it is unacceptable in my mind. We need more science more regularly, and there's some advancements in technology like using the AI. We're actually starting a camera project I was talking to Steve earlier about, and that camera project we're doing is basically piloting AI. They're going to put a bunch of cameras on our party boat, and they're going to watch us fish, and these cameras are going to use artificial intelligence to identify what we're catching and releasing and what we're catching and keeping. So essentially the cameras will be able to log our information, our catch and our discards. And as that camera information is better at identifying species, the camera projects that are ongoing in the Gulf of Mexico, they're dropping cameras all the time everywhere across the Gulf, and it really helps us get an idea of the health of the fishery. But someone has to sit there and watch that camera information, and it takes scientists a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of budget to process that camera information, and they can only process small portions of it. Whereas AI, as they get this stood up, essentially all that camera information would be digested immediately by a computer, and it would digest the whole information, not just portions of it. So it would really advance our science exponentially overnight with the use of this artificial intelligence. So pretty exciting stuff. So there are things in the works, but to answer your question, nothing happens fast in federal government.
It would just be nice to not pay the price today for old data, from years ago. And
amen.
Yeah, like you said, just close that gap. But yeah, otherwise fishing's still real good, man.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, my friend. Thanks for chiming in this morning and adding your information to the conversation. So keep calling in.
Got it.
Thanks, Charlie.
And how would someone, before you get off, Charlie, how would someone book a trip with you if they want to check out the south side of Tampa Bay?
Nautical Native, absolutely. Thank you. It's Nautical Native Fishing Adventures. And like I said, I'm down at Bradenton, Anna Maria, and I can be reached at 727-331-1532.
Thank you very much, my friend. Thanks for giving us a shout. And the Anna Maria guys must have woke up because we got the legendary Captain Scott Moore on the line as well. So don't go anywhere. We've got more coming at you right after this.
I'm Benny Jr. with Bartow Ford. Everyone has heard me speak.
That's cool.
Super nice guy. He's been around here for a long time. Cool.
That's awesome. Nautical Native. I've heard that name before.
Yeah, he's got like a 25 Parker or something like that. He does a lot of like near shore. Like
25 Parker.
He does do the inshore stuff, but he does like a lot of the near shore. He doesn't. He's not permitted, so he stays inside of the fence and everything like that. But he,
At least he knows there's a fence.
Well, I mean, he used to enforce that fence, so yeah, he knows about it.
True.
I tell you, I got pulled over a couple weeks ago. I was doing a Shimano shoot, and I got pulled over offshore. The Coast Guard cutter came up.
Did they ask for your permits?
They threw the little small boat in the water and ripped on over. And
nice.
So when was the last time you were boarded? I was like, I don't know, 2 years ago. And they're like, we're coming aboard. Pulled up and searched old boat.
Nice.
Yeah, they did the permits.
I would have been like yesterday.
I actually had expired flares for my gun.
Oh, nice.
The handhelds were fine, but the gun flares weren't.
Yeah.
I could write you up for that. They didn't.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Challenging. Man, that show went fast.
Yeah, no, it's quick.
And we got the legendary Scott Moore on the line. We were loaded up today. Jeff Page, Parmalu, now Scott Moore.
I think they wanted to talk to you or me.
You.
Yeah,
definitely you. 100%.
Oh, man. Dude, I got my insurance for the 2 boats. Dude, it's just like, now it's starting to hit. Like, everything is like, oh my God,
the insurance rates are crazy.
Double.
Crazy.
You know, I think I was at like, $6,500 or something like that. It's crazy, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even say my insurance rates without throwing up.
Well, I guess if you ain't growing, they can go the other way with it. What are you guys gonna do with the Trav's old boat? You just gonna let that thing just sit over there and rot?
What?
The live wire.
Oh, dude, that's not our boat. We sold that a while ago.
Oh yeah.
We sold it to Charlie.
Oh okay.
Charlie Rainier. They do little day trips in it.
I haven't seen that boat go anywhere forever.
Yeah. Where is it?
It's just still sitting on the lift behind Trav's house. Well,
Oh, really?
Happy's house. Whoever's house.
I didn't know that it's still there. I thought they moved it.
Yeah, it's just sitting there. This thing's just.
It's a cool boat. I ran one of my favorite trips on it when I got my license. I ran out to the Plain and fished that area around it, the wing, and dude, we crushed the yellowtails, mangroves, and got huge African pompons. It was a night trip, and dude, it was so much fun. I had just got my license, and it was a 12-hour night trip.
Must have been flat.
It was.
Yeah.
Really nice.
That's the only reason you like that boat.
Yeah.
Because if it was 2 foot, you wouldn't.
Or Marina. Now your captains, Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
Captain Dylan Hubbard here for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio. We've got Captain Steve Papen from Fintastic Fishing Charters in studio this morning. Want to give a shout out to our friends at Relentless Perpetual Edge Knives, the world's first self-sharpening knife that sharpens as it cuts. Ultra hard carbide, never rust titanium blade, and true grit glass reinforced ABS handle on a knife that's perfectly balanced. Take the work out of filleting a pile of fish and get your Relentless Knives today. Go to Relentless Knives USA. Find out for yourself why most of the industry is talking about these brand new knives. Now we've got Captain Scott Moore from Anna Maria on the line. How you doing this morning, buddy?
Good morning. Good show.
Thank you, sir.
I learned a lot about Pompano.
I know,
Boy,
right? Some
giving all
secrets.
these secrets away.
I love it.
My goodness. If they're not tuned in this morning, absolutely. Dylan, also, I'd like to definitely thank you for all you've done with the Florida Guides Association and how important it is for these guys. If you're a guide out there, you need to get on board, go up online, and join. Because look what they're going through in Sarasota, just to make a point about the boat ramps.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be having things like this come up. And if you don't have somebody to represent you that knows what they're talking about, representation, and we've got great representation with the state of Florida.
Amen.
Okay, and with NOAA too, because of you, it's really important that these guys get out there and join and have belong to an organization like the Florida Guides Association.
We appreciate it. It's florida-guides.com. And if you're not a guide, you can become an associate member. And if you're not a guide and you just happen to be looking for a guide, you can use florida-guides.com to find a guide in your area all over the state. You can use that website to find a local guide and book your charter today with someone who you know is licensed, insured, and is operating well and is a respected part of the fishing community. So florida-guides.com is a great resource for sure. Appreciate it, Scott. Always a pleasure to hear from you. How's fishing going down there?
That's good. And, for instance, you take a Little John. Everybody knows what the Little Johns are, the soft plastic baits. You can take them and cut them in half. And, of course, the pompano will still attack one of those, the regular size, but cut them in half and use those and put them on your jig head. And when you start out, the key is, like Van and I'm sure Jeff too was tell you, the key is to start off with different colors, because you really never know which one they're going to attack. Okay. Another thing is you can tip them. Cheat with shrimp. Another thing you can do with people that don't know how to throw artificials, you want to put the shrimp on a cork and you want to tear the tail off and fish with a dead fresh shrimp, and you will catch them.
Nice. Now, if you're going to cut your Little John in half, you've got this pencil bait. Are you using the back half of the bait that gets to that skinny point, or are you using the front half of the bait?
No, you want to save the ones that are worn down after you've caught 100 fish with that lure. It's amazing how many fish you can catch with it. When it starts to wear down, then you can cut it down, piece it down. Okay. And by the way, the guy that really invented that lure lives in Inglewood. His name is John Oates.
Nice.
That's what it was. That lure was named after John Oates, the Little John.
That's
There's
awesome.
Quite a little information on that. Matter of fact, he won the Redfish Tour using that bait a few years back.
That's cool.
The National Redfish Tour.
Well, we appreciate you, man. Unfortunately, we are up against the clock. Hate to cut you off, but how would someone book a trip with you?
Problem. Good fishing. Go to AnnaMariaBoatCompany.com. Anna Maria Boat Company.
All right. We appreciate it, Scott. Thanks for the call.
Good fishing, everybody.
See you, buddy. Now, Captain Steve Papen, how would someone book a trip with you?
Well, I've got a website. Nobody uses those much anymore, but, fintasticfishingcharters.com.
Yep. And you got a new boat coming in the water here.
Yeah. We got another one. We're splashing boat number 2 here in about 2 weeks.
Which boat are you going to be running? That's a question I have.
I'm stuck on that CV, man. I love that boat. I love that boat. Inboard. I mean, it rides like a sport fish.
So you're going to have a CV with inboard diesels. You've got a Contender with outboard Suzukis.
Yeah, 31 Contender with outboard Suzukis.
Nice.
We got twin 300s going on that boat. And everything's brand new on it. She's going to be a looker. It's going to be nice and quick and, efficient.
I heard it's got a wrap.
It does.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic Fishing Charters fleet is growing.
We are blasting off.
Yeah, and you've got a big tournament season ahead of you. Kingfisher around the corner. You guys, you ready? Team Loggerhead for another Spring King of the Beach win?
I hope so, man. That'd be fantastic. I got, like I said, we put in our time. We put in our time for the King of the Beach. We waited a long time for that first one.
Yeah.
Second one came quick. I'm ready for number 3 for sure.
Awesome.
We got a big season ahead of us. We got a lot of stuff going on.
Yes, sir. Check them out. Fantastic Fishing Charters. They got TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. and book your trip with Captain Steve today. Thanks for joining me in studio, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. And check out the live show tomorrow night, live on the Real Animals and Hubbard's Marina Facebook page, 7:30 p.m. We're going to be talking fishing with the head of NOAA Fisheries, Andy Strelchek, and Sean Meehan, the rec fishing coordinator. It's going to be a good show.
Don't miss that one.
Don't miss it. Tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. over on 620 Real Animals Sunday. Don't miss that either. Hopefully, we'll see you out there on the water. Enjoy Mondays looking real nice. Monday, Tuesday. Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. We'll see you out there. Thanks for listening, y'all.
The preceding program was paid for by Real Animals Fishing.
Broadcasting live from the Farrah and Farrah.
My grandfather used to say damn. So if you're too busy to go fishing,
I never even heard any of that. I heard if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too busy.
Yeah.
And then you guys got all dirty with it.
And added the darn. No, my grandfather used to say if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too damn busy. But you can't say that on the news.
Yeah.
So I sprinkle in the darn every now and again. Yeah. Thanks for listening, y'all. Thanks for tuning in this morning. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow, again, tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. on the Real Animals Facebook page for the 620 Real Animals Sunday morning show. Tomorrow night is that special live show. It's going to be very interesting, talking fishing with Andy Strelchek from NOAA Fisheries, the Rec Fishing, what does he call it? The Rec Fishing Initiative. Is probably a lot of what we're going to focus on. Basically, Andy Strelchek, NOAA Fisheries, the Gulf Council, there's a lot of work going on to how we can improve recreational fishing management, recreational fishing science, and recreational fishing access moving forward, and helping to improve MSA and the way federal law kind of operates. So some big things in the works in multiple different facets and avenues, and we'll try to dive into that a little bit tomorrow night. So definitely don't miss out on that live show. Also wanted to mention, I think Captain Charlie Tita brought it up, some of the questions about federal management, and we've done a lot of these shows and kind of talked about federal science and management, and I tried to create a place that we can compile information. So as we have these shows, as we have these websites and helpful links, we're going to compile them all on a website. So if you go to hubbardsmarina.com and you hit fishing trips, scroll down to more info. So again, hubbardsmarina.com, click fishing trips, click more info. We have a new page of our website called Fisheries Science and Management. And we're actually going to build out that page to kind of be the resource to learn or to research or to get involved with fisheries science and management. So definitely check it out. Let me know what you think and what we need to add, subtract, and then as we do more shows like this one tomorrow night with the NOAA Fisheries folks, we're going to add to that page. So over time it'll grow. So if you have questions about fisheries science or management stuff, you'll be able to go there and get some answers.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Great idea.
I think it'll help.
Yeah, instead of having to go all over the place and search out information.
Or someone asks me a question, it's like, dude, I did a video on this, and then I have to sit there and try to find out where that video was, or I forgot where it was, or it was a year ago and it's hard to find. Now it'll all be on one site. So when someone has a question, I'll be like, here's the answer, but if you want the long answer, check out this website page.
Cutting edge stuff, man.
Trying. Every day is a new every day is
Cutting edge.
Well, we appreciate you guys for watching, tuning in, listening, joining, and thanks for being a part of our Real Animals family. We'll see you tomorrow, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. for the Sunday morning show. Thanks for watching, y'all.